It was hard to settle back to school routine when you'd helped to blow up a trainload of deadly gas and escaped from a tiger. On the other hand, at school she had 3 boring meals a day and was in absolutely no danger of being shot by a firing squad or buried in a dust storm. It was safe. It was also dull. How could anyone change the world stuck there in school? Ming wanted to change the world now. So far, she'd achieved a 16 out of 20 for her history project on how women had fought for the vote in Australia. 16 out of 20. She'd been there. She knew heaps more about the subject than Mr. Bores and his history books. At least she'd received 20 out of 20 for her term sustainability project, with a big red "Good work, Ming" written on the cover page. But Miss Simler had looked startled when Ming asked if the school would use the school car park to actually try out her idea of covering the world's concrete with roofs of green vines, grapes, ivy, even kiwi fruit to help stop global warming. What was the point of coming up with ideas to change the world if you couldn't do anything? Ming rolled back and glanced out the cubicle window again. The light was back. She sat up as the blue shimmer swirled into a glowing mist, coming closer and closer still towards the dorm. Suddenly, Herstory walked through what should have been the wall, then sat herself comfortably on the windowsill. She looked just like she had a few weeks ago. Silver-haired, purple-robed, both young and very old. The world stopped. No, time has stopped, Ming thought, as Herstory grinned at her. The rustles of bedclothes, the thumps of the possum up in the school roof, the mutter of the TV from Miss Simler's room at the end of the corridor had disappeared. As always, History's sister looked both close and incredibly far away. "Bored?" asked Herstory. Ming could hear the laughter in her voice. "Yes," said Ming frankly. She'd been through too much now to fear Herstory, especially now she knew how much Herstory really cared about women and their stories. Herstory shook her head. "Most people live in a little box of the present, neither gazing back nor looking forwards. The past is a fascinating place. How can you imagine your future if you don't know the past?" Ming nodded. Despite all the history she had studied, the past had been totally different from anything she had expected. Herstory raised an eyebrow, the blue light shimmering around her. "Do you want to go back? To another time?" There was no place for Ming now with the friends she'd made on her 2 previous escapades. It was sad to think she would never see Flo or Marie again, but good to know they'd led happy, fulfilled lives, and that they'd changed the world. "Could I go to a less dangerous place this time?" asked Ming tentatively. It wasn't that she was afraid exactly, but too much had happened, too fast and often violently in her other adventures. When Herstory had promised to send her to the past, she dreamed of being a princess in a castle who stopped an invasion, maybe even a young female pharaoh who had invented paper made from papyrus. A safe place, too, Ming added quickly, because after all there were crocodiles in ancient Egypt, and battles with chariots and spears. "You'd like to visit a safe, comfortable place where you can watch a girl change the world?" Ming nodded. "Yes, please." Herstory grinned again, but there was something about this grin. "The past is never entirely safe," Herstory said lightly. "Plus there's no dentists, mobile phones to call for help, poverty, diseases and accidents without antibiotics." "A lot of the world is still like that," said Ming. "But you're lucky enough to be comfortable here. Still want to go?" "You won't send me to a war this time? Or anywhere with tigers?" "Definitely no."